Hi, my name is Tina Alders, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty out of Southlake, Texas. We are super excited to share with you why we believe Texas living has become such a big thing. So many people are moving to Texas, and people who live here are loving it. And so in the upcoming videos, we're going to share with you why we believe so many people are moving to Texas, living in Texas and loving it, and why Texas living has become such a big thing.
So I'm Tim, her husband, 37 years, and we're the team leads of the Alders team. We have a great real estate team with like values and great work ethics. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or move into Texas and have questions, comment below and we'll reach out to you and see how we can assist you.
I'm going to share a little bit about myself. I grew up here in Hurst, Texas. I've been in this area my entire life, and I grew up in a family of 5, and our community was mostly, probably like most people's, it was the church, your neighbors, and your school friends. Matter of fact, speaking of school friends, I still get together with friends that I went to school with in elementary school. They're still in the area. This area is so attractive. People move here or live here and they don't leave. But was talking about the schools, that was a big thing for Tim and I when it came to our kids. We wanted to have good school districts for them, and we also wanted them to be able to have the activities that went along with it. So when we were talking about schools, we have to say we're talking about the public schools as well as the private schools. Our kids attended both took advantage of both of those that were in our area. And I would say that was probably our number one reason.
Yes. So a little bit about me. I grew up with a family of 6. We moved around quite a bit. Fact is, I went to 5 schools during my high school years, and a lot of people said, "Oh, you poor thing!
Yeah.
I can't believe you had to move so many times." But it was great for me because I was able to make friends all over the place, all over the Midwest. And the beautiful thing is, I ended up in Fort Worth, Texas, in my senior year, and I was able to basically fit right in. The teammates, my classmates, my coaches, they all made me feel like I've been there since elementary school. And I had the best time. In fact, as I love Texas so much because of how I was embraced, I decided when I had a chance to go play college football that I wouldn't go out of the state of Texas. I'd stay in the state of Texas because I knew if I stayed in the state of Texas that I would meet my future bride and I would get married and stay here in Texas. And sure enough, I did after college meet my beautiful bride. So anyways, that's one of the reasons why I really feel passionate about helping people move into Texas, because I want them to feel like at home, like how I felt at home. And that expression that you hear, I was not born in Texas, but I got here as soon as possible.
And he says that a lot. With that being said, we are super excited to be sharing with you about, like I said originally, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Dallas and Fort Worth are so different, yet each one offers so much. So what we're going to do is zoom in on the Fort Worth area starting off in the surrounding cities, and that way you kind of get a taste of that before we move on to the taste of Dallas. We're going to share with you about some of the neighborhoods that are in the different cities that surround Fort Worth, as well as in Fort Worth. The parks, the Fort Worth Zoo, we have to share about that. The art district that's in Fort Worth, as well as in the surrounding cities of Fort Worth. There's probably about 32 museums or more. But in Fort Worth, we're going to focus in on the Museum of Science and History, the Kimball Art Museum, the Amy Carter Museum. Gosh, we'll probably even take you by Bass Hall and let you see that too. That's just a phenomenal thing that was developed down there by the Bass brothers. But with so many things that are going on, we're also going to take you to see the stockyards, the cattle drives that goes on down there. People hear about Cowboy and in that movie,
Billy Bob's.
1883.
Oh yeah.
1883.
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Yeah. A lot of people they were like, "Ooh, that's Fort Worth." Of course, that was set back in history, which we all know.
Yeah.
But
it changed just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah. But it's such a neat little area down there, so we will take you there also. They have lots of neat places to stay too. Surrounding areas we have in Grapevine alone, we have the Gaylord of Texas and the Great Wolf Lodge, which you hear people always talking about those two chains of hotels, but they're really neat in that area in Grapevine because Grapevine offers so much. And a lot of the cities have the different festivals, and we're going to let you visit and hear about some of those also. We're just super excited with what the area has to offer. And people say, well, how do I get from one place to the other? And people who live here will say, and how do I get there? And you just tell them the name of a highway, and then they realize, wow, it's so easy. The infrastructure is set up so well.
Yeah, well, fantastic, Tina. And I'm excited to go those places with you, but I think you left out maybe a couple ideas of different things that are really important here in Texas. First one's sports. As you can tell, like I said, I played college football, and it was in Arlington, and Arlington has now become the home of the pro sports. I mean, we have the Dallas Cowboys, we have the Texas Rangers, and we have a lot of other venues that are going on. Even esports is located there in Arlington, Texas. So one of the things that, when you say sports, you think about the colleges, you think about the pros, which we do have some good colleges in the area with some good sports programs, but it's the high schools. If you have high school kids or grade school kids that are going to high schools and they're playing sports, we have some of the best facilities in the world. I mean, these high school facilities are even better than a lot of the college facilities. The stadiums are larger. They even have indoor practice facilities now. Used to be the only person that never had those, the Dallas Cowboys. Now every big high school has one. Air conditioning. We just go through these 100-degree weathers. Back when I played, we had to sweat it out for 2 days and stuff. And now, air conditioning, they have it too easy. So it's not just the football, but it's all the other sports too. Cheerleading, that's very important. Yes. We love the cheerleaders. So one of the things that we even have hockey here, guys. Hockey in Texas. Yeah, the fact is the Dallas Stars, they set up a lot of facilities around the area that you can play youth hockey here too. So it's pretty neat to see what we have. Some of the other things that we didn't talk about, Tina, was golf. And I know on the East Coast, West Coast, you guys got some historic golf courses. But here in the Metroplex, we have some fantastic golf courses. One of the ones in Fort Worth, which is kind of a celebration we do every year, is the Colonial. It's just a place to be. It's kind of like our Kentucky Derby. We get the Colonial and everybody shows up, dressed up and enjoying it and watching the golfers play. And, drinking the margaritas. The fact is, Dallas, Fort Worth area is kind of famous for the margaritas. One of the things that we also need to talk about is food. As you can tell, I might have partaked in a few meals.
And talking about the margarita, the machine.
Yeah. In fact, the frozen margarita machine was created here in Dallas, Fort Worth area. But the thing about it is, when you talk about food in Texas, you think of big steaks. You think of Texas barbecue, which is amazing. All the barbecue joints, we call them joints here, but all the barbecue joints that we have. And then you look at some of the other foods. Tex-mex, we're famous for Tex-mex. Not just our sister city down in San Antonio, but Fort Worth, we have some amazing. San Antonio
is fun to visit.
It is. We have some amazing Tex-Mex food. In fact, we have a place we'll be taking you to down in the Stockyards area, which is called Joe T. Garcia's. It's just been there forever, but now it's overtaken several city blocks, and it's just amazing. And they have the best margaritas. So we will probably have to go down there and sample some for you while you're watching us. But anyway, so one of the things that we also have is it's not just that food. We pretty much handle all the different types of foods that you can imagine. Restaurants, we're probably king of the restaurants here in this area. So,
yeah, that's for sure.
So anyway,
for sure, there's everything. There's Sundance Square. There's West End. I mean, we could go on and on about all that has to offer. As you can see, we get really excited when we're talking about the Fort Worth area and everything it has to offer. We absolutely love it, and we are hoping when we share it with you that you'll fall in love with it too. And we want you to be able to say that Fort Worth is Fort Worth it.
Yes,
for sure. We'd love to know if you have any questions, if you're coming, if you're moving to the area, or if you're coming here just to visit. Or if you live in the area and you're like, hey, when is that festival, or when's this going on? If you'll just drop a question down in the comments below, we will get back around to that and either answer them there, or we will bring it up in our upcoming videos if we feel like it's something that other people would be interested in knowing for sure.
So remember, ask the Alders.